Thank you for tuning in to the series You've Been Found Guilty, Now What? My name is Dr. Blatstein, and this is the first in a series, this being number 7, centering on the First Step Act. At its core, the First Step Act provides earned time credit for inmates towards early release. The First Step Act was signed into law late December 2018. The expectations at that point were that all phases would be complete within approximately 2 years, for 2021. As we are now in 2022, that does not appear to be the case, period. Credits are earned by completing the recommended rehabilitation programs. It allows some federal incarcerated individuals to earn time credits by completing these rehabilitation programs. Pattern is a risk assessment tool used by the First Step Act to determine who is most at risk for recidivism. It identifies 13 critical areas of need, which you see here, and each one of these categories has programs and/or activities that will make up the First Step Act system and all the programs that are required or are recommended that inmates take. You also see the pre-sentence report. The pre-sentence report is important because while the court's report, which is used by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, is their main intake document to place you once you enter the prison system, here at Physician Pre-Sentence Report Service, we dive into it a little more deeply by evaluating the defendant based on medical need, mental health need, psychology issues, social history, legal history, educational history, should there be a military background, etc. And we pull all this information together for you and for your attorney so that our goal is to assist your legal team in mitigating the sentence or decreasing it, as well as looking to get a downward departure, as well as a specific placement request. Evidence-based recidivism reduction programs, otherwise known as EBRR, are programs that are led by BOP staff, Federal Bureau of Prison staff, contractors, or volunteers. Such programs cover drug rehabilitation, mental health, and education. There's also structured curriculum-based productive activities, and these can be such as work, for example, UNICOR, or social interaction programs. Should the defendant be a veteran, there are several veteran support groups that they can interact with, as well as for women entering the system, there are at least a half a dozen support groups for them also. These programs, credit is available for these programs since January 15, 2020, although the names were similar. Some of these programs were in existence since that point. The credit is available retroactively. Enrollment is not required, but enrollment is recommended. To earn First Step Act earned timed credits, you need 4 conditions in order to be met. The program must either be an EBRR program or a PA, Productive Activity Program. So what does that mean? First, it means that you can't just pick a program that you like or want to go into. A Federal Bureau of Prison staff member assigns you to a program based on a specific need that they feel you have, criminogenic need. Then, the inmate or you must successfully complete the program or productive activity, with one exception, and that is if it gets interrupted due to reasons that are beyond your control. So my only exception that I can think of at this moment would be COVID during the year 2020. At that time, most prisons were in lockdown, so that going anywhere within a facility probably was not very possible. In my opinion, I recommend getting all the recommendations in writing. So there's likely going to be 2 options. It's either going to be written on paper, which means that when you go in to meet with whoever is going to give you the recommendation, they have some sort of form that will be in triplicate, and you sign off, date it, they sign off, date it, each keep your copy, or it may be an electronic method where there's either an iPad or an email or some form of electronic medical record where you get a copy of something, electronically sign it, and then you either keep it in a file that you have or you send it to someone you know off-site to hold for you. But either way, when you get it, the goal is not to lose it. And why is this important? Because once you have it, this is proof that 1, the BOP recommended that the program or activity you need to take, and second, it's proof that you took the program and you're entitled to get the credit just in case the Bureau of Prisons doesn't have their copy or their receipt for this particular program in your name, in your file. For your attorneys, I've included this. First Step Act implementation. These is resources for defense attorneys. First is from FAM, Families Against Mandatory Minimums. The second link is from the National Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, NACDL, and it's specifically regarding implementation of the First Step Act. Should you have any questions, and I hope you feel that this is helpful, please share it with your friends, share it with those in need that you may know. If you need to reach out to me and have a question, please use my email link as you see there on the screen. Should you want to reach me through the website, you can do a Google search as what I've written down, and I look forward to meeting you at our next YouTube session.